The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's visit to Saudi Arabia last week may not have been that fruitful for Washington, as Saudi is now cozying up to China to strengthen bilateral and economic ties.
Saudi Arabia is now playing host to the largest Chinese Arab business gathering. Reports suggest that Saudi officials have spoken of integrating China into the Arab world.
Several years ago, the US and Saudi Arabia made a pact, a fairly straightforward deal: oil for security. The US got Saudi oil. In exchange, it gave Saudi Arabia security guarantees. That was the deal.
China's influence in Saudi Arabia is expanding through new oil and gas agreements, solidifying the growing relationship between the two countries. Saudi Arabia has reaffirmed China as its most reliable partner and supplier of crude oil, with a focus on economic partnership rather than a meaningful quid pro quo with the United States. The recent commitments from Saudi Arabia to China include further cooperation in developing gas ties and extending partnerships in various sectors, such as petrochemicals. These agreements also involve the construction of a large manufacturing hub in King Salman Energy Park, which will have a significant presence of Chinese personnel, including security forces. Additionally, joint projects between China and Saudi Arabia, which were previously delayed, are now being revived. The renewed collaboration indicates a shift in Saudi Arabia's focus toward China as an economic and energy partner, while Russia remains a key partner in energy matters. The relationship between China and Saudi Arabia gained momentum when China offered a way out of the Saudi Aramco initial public offering disaster, demonstrating their commitment to supporting each other. Saudi Aramco's CEO emphasized the importance of ensuring China's energy security as a top priority, not just in the short term, but also for the next several decades. The recent agreements reflect the key elements of previous deals between Saudi Arabia and China, highlighting the strategic importance of their partnership. The relationship between China and Saudi Arabia gained momentum when China offered a way out of the Saudi Aramco initial public offering disaster, demonstrating their commitment to supporting each other. Saudi Aramco's CEO emphasized the importance of ensuring China's energy security as a top priority, not just in the short term, but also for the next several decades. The recent agreements reflect the key elements of previous deals between Saudi Arabia and China, highlighting the strategic importance of their partnership. Furthermore, Saudi Aramco has established a presence in China's Shandong province, home to a significant portion of China's refining capacity and a major market for Saudi crude oil exports. The collaboration aims to enhance China's energy security while expanding Saudi Arabia's downstream business with its Chinese partners. These agreements often involve China's construction of major facilities in partner countries, which allow them to station personnel, including security staff, within those facilities. In December 2022, meetings between Chinese President Xi Jinping and Arab League leaders, including Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, were held to strengthen strategic cooperation in a region where U.S. dominance is perceived to be declining. The discussions focused on finalizing a China-GC free trade agreement and exploring the use of the Chinese renminbi in oil and gas deals within the Arab League. Additionally, President Xi Jinping identified two priority areas: transitioning to the renminbi for energy transactions and introducing nuclear technology to targeted countries, starting with Saudi Arabia. While Saudi Arabia had previously pursued nuclear technology from the US-China now presents an alternative without the same limitations. Overall, Saudi Arabia recognizes China's leading role and seeks to collaborate rather than compete. The expanding cooperation between the two countries reflects China's increasing influence in Saudi Arabia and the broader global oil market order. The shift in Saudi Arabia's focus towards China as a key economic and energy partner has significant implications for the global oil market order. The long-standing relationship between Saudi Arabia and the United States, based on the 1945 Bitter Lake deal, which ensured U.S. oil supplies in exchange for security guarantees, has been challenged in recent years. The emergence of Russia as a supporter of Saudi Arabia and OPEC during the 2014-2016 oil price war, and the lack of credibility in global oil markets, weakened the U.S.-Saudi alliance. China's growing presence in Saudi Arabia offers an alternative partnership for the kingdom. The agreements between the two countries not only cover energy cooperation, but also extend to broader areas such as infrastructure development, petrochemical projects, and manufacturing hubs. Chinese investments in Saudi Arabia are accompanied by a substantial presence of Chinese personnel, including security forces, ensuring the safety of China's investments. One characteristic of agreements between emerging nations in China is the potential for deal creep. These agreements often lead to the establishment of major Chinese facilities within partner countries, allowing China to exert influence and control. The agreements also pave the way for additional features that become apparent over time. In the case of Saudi Arabia, discussions have focused on a China-GC free trade agreement and deeper strategic cooperation, indicating a possible shift away from U.S. dominance in the region. China's push for the use of the renminbi in energy transactions within the Arab League countries and its interest in providing nuclear technology to Saudi Arabia further solidify its influence. The nuclear technology discussions between China and Saudi Arabia could replace previous negotiations with the U.S. as China does not require the same protocols for peaceful use of nuclear technology. Saudi Arabia's recognition of China's leading role and the emphasis on collaboration indicate a shifting geopolitical landscape. As China expands its influence in the Middle East, it poses a challenge to U.S. dominance and may reshape the global oil market order. The evolving partnership between Saudi Arabia and China highlights the changing dynamics in the region and the strategic choices made by key players in response to geopolitical shifts. What are your thoughts on the expanding partnership between Saudi Arabia and China in the oil and gas sector, as well as their broader economic cooperation? How do you think this shift in alliances will impact the global oil market order and the geopolitical landscape in the Middle East? Additionally, how do you think this growing partnership between China and Saudi Arabia may affect the existing dynamics between Saudi Arabia and the United States? Will the shifting alliances have any long-term implications for the energy security and geopolitical interests of these nations? Your perspectives on these questions are valuable, and we look forward to hearing your thoughts. We would love to hear your thoughts on the expanding partnership between Saudi Arabia and China in the oil and gas sector, as well as their broader economic cooperation. How do you think this shift in alliances will impact the global oil market order and the geopolitical landscape in the Middle East? Please share your insights and opinions in the comments below. If you're interested in staying updated on upcoming videos and discussions on various topics, feel free to subscribe to our channel. We appreciate your support. Thank you for watching.